The whole book of Exodus is like God's answer to Pharaoh's indifferent question, who is the Lord? And it's in a stunning book where God's power and majesty and anger is demonstrated, the fury of God towards Egypt in their indifference, in their cruelty to Israel. The time had passed. God had allowed it to go for some time. And now God had heard their cry. God had come down to deliver them. He had sent Moses, but he was right behind Moses with authority and power. And frightening plague followed frightening plague until the last, the culmination of plagues, the one where the firstborn of every home would die. Pharaoh had shown such indifference. He refused to listen. And here God's answer comes. His fury is demonstrated, but at the same night, his fury, but also his mercy towards Israel. And they were told to take a lamb for each household. Slaughter had to be a perfect lamb, completely perfect. Slaughter that lamb and put the blood around their door. And God said, when the angel of death comes over, when I pass over the nation, where I see the blood, I'll pass over you. It wasn't for the Israelites to kind of keep opening the door and looking at the blood and thinking, is that really doing anything for me? It wasn't wasn't to do something for them. It was for God to see. God didn't say, look on it. He said, when I see the blood, I will pass over you. And you know, in that home, if you had strong faith or if you had little faith, it didn't make a lot of difference. God said, when I see the blood, God alone knows the value of the blood of the Lamb. He knows what Jesus accomplished for us, our Lamb, our Passover. Paul says in the New Testament, Christ, our Passover, has been slain for us. God knows the anguish that Jesus went through. He knows the shame he endured, the beating, the suffering that he took in our place. For the joy set before him, he despised the shame, but he carried terrible shame, loneliness, the curse as he hung upon the cross. And God says, when I see that blood, and there God's justice and mercy met at the cross, and a phenomenal display of God's mercy, a terrifying display of God's justice as his own son died in our place, as his blood was shed and we go free. Jesus, our Passover, who has changed everything for us, cleansed our conscience, taken away our guilt, made us accepted. What a Saviour. What a wonderful Saviour. God was setting his people free. He set us free by substituting in our place a lamb who took away our guilt. Praise his wonderful name.